In Harvey Weinstein's case, it was the truth. In Davi Vanity's case, it is the truth. In Harvey Weinstein's case, it is the truth. Those victims didn't have any proof, but they came forward and they shared their story with zero proof and got these predators off our streets. So Eugenia is over here saying, well, if you don't have any proof, you shouldn't say mean things about people. The heck are you talking about, Eugenia? Harvey Weinstein, none of those women had proof. None. Not one text, not one picture, nothing. But what did he do? I mean, come on. Davi Vanity, Bill Cosby. I mean, excuse the fuck out of me for not having my trusty camera while I'm being attacked and assaulted. You know? I mean, geez. I was sexually assaulted. I mean, do you think for 1 second that when it started that I had access to a camera where I could get my proof to show everyone to prove I'm telling the truth? No, I didn't have access to my trusty camera. What a irresponsible statement to your young audience. You should be ashamed, because there are so many times that we do not have a way to prove things. And you're telling people, well, you just shouldn't say anything because you don't have proof. You should say something. This person, this predator, can continue to hurt more and more people. And one experience from one person can stop that predator, even without proof. Did you know that domestic violence survivors, when they go to court, most of the time, the judge, there's a thing that we have that we call a abuse journal, basically. And when you're in a domestic violence relationship, you take a notebook and you write down each time something happens and you document it. Did you know that if we go to court, the court will look at that document more than they will actual pictures of bruises? They'll read that document. In the case of Susan Steele, her co-worker wrote down a document every single day, every time Susan came to work with a black eye, a bruise, missed work, was on the phone having to call her husband master, was crying, upset. Whatever it may have been, her co-worker documented it every single day. And when Susan went to court, the judge and everybody looked at that document more than they did the actual video of him beating her. Because there was a video, it's on YouTube, of Susan Steele's husband beating her while her 13-year-old son held the camera. And the courts got him put in prison based on the paper, the written down documentation by her co-worker. I can believe it because it's Eugenia, but for you to have such a young audience, you should be way more responsible in what you say and do in front of these kids and in front of anyone, not just kids, but people who are your fans who are in abusive relationships right now, sexual assault survivors who have just went through this or had been through this 10 years ago. Just because they don't have proof doesn't mean they shouldn't say anything. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. How do you think we caught Harvey Weinstein? Bill Cosby? How do you think they're on Davi Vanity's case right now? Because people are telling their story, their experience. Joss Whedon. I just did a video about Joss Whedon. Charisma Carpenter has no proof, but what does she have? Her experience, her testimony, Ray Fisher's testimony, and everybody else, Michelle Trachtenberg's testimony. Because that's their word, their experience, their story. They're sharing. No, it's not physical camera proof or a text screenshot proof. But it don't mean it didn't happen. These people, it is already challenging enough for survivors to come forward and tell their story of their traumatic experience. They fear that no one will believe them. And that's why predators get away with so much, because we fear that nobody will believe us. It took me years to tell anybody what this one family friend did to me in my own home, because I had no proof. Nobody was there but us. And I mean, sure, Eugenia, if I'd have had my camera while he was raping me, I would have, videoed it so I could show the police. I mean, the fuck out of here. That was just... I'm sorry, I've been sick. Repzilla shared this video on his Twitter account, and it got me riled up. She basically told her audience that she doesn't say anything because there's not proof. So you'll let a predator continue doing what they do. Just because you don't have proof, you're just not going to say nothing because you don't want to look like a mean person saying mean things about someone. Are you serious? You would rather have more victims put in danger. That is the dumbest, irresponsible thing that someone who's almost 30 could say to me right now. I don't even know how that got brought up in her live stream, but whoever started that question, thank you, because that really shows her true side, and I hope her followers will start to see this and just quit believing in this little facade that she puts on, that she has supported Shane, Jeffrey. That's one thing. With their backgrounds, doing blackface and saying the N-word, and she is just cheerfully supporting them. But for her to say this about sexual assault and them not having proof and saying mean things about people when you don't have proof and that bull crap. Harvey Weinstein assaulted and raped so many women. And you know why he's behind bars right now, Eugenia? You want to know why? It wasn't because of picture proof. It wasn't because of screenshot text proof. It was because the women, the victims, they came out and they told their stories. Just like with Bill Cosby. Do you think back in the 70s they had phones and stuff? No, they weren't recording their attacks. Even in 2021, you can be attacked right now by somebody you know. That doesn't mean you're going to get proof of it. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to grab your phone and video the attack. That's what makes me so mad with these influencers like Eugenia. This is the stuff that really just grinds my gears. You're basically telling victims, shh, don't say nothing because you don't have proof. You don't want to be saying mean things about someone if you don't have proof. That is disgusting. You should be telling your audience, you know what? When something happens, you need to speak up. Whether you have proof or not, you need to speak up and get yourself some justice and try to protect anyone else from having it happen to them. Protect other people from being hurt. I mean, it's a touchy subject, but for her to sit here and say, well, you don't have proof, you shouldn't say those mean things about people, that is so messed up. You are spitting in the face of people like me who have been violently attacked in many different ways. And all because we didn't have a damn camera, we should keep our mouths shut? Oh my word. All because I don't have a picture of him raping me. I don't have a video of him violently punching me in my face, choking me while he raped me. Because think about all the people, all the men and women, people who have been attacked and raped and killed. And these murderers, these predators, these rapists, these sexual assaulters that get away. And there was no proof and nobody to say anything.